Is becoming a CPA difficult? What exactly does a business advisor do? And is accounting more than just numbers? Well, we talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus, and today is a very special episode because joining me, not only is he a CPA, a chief financial officer, and worked as a comptroller at a medical center, and so much more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bill Stansberry. Mr. Bill, how are you doing today?
Hey, Todd, doing great. Glad to be with you. Excited about it.
So
I hear you had Donald Trump on here, so I'm really excited about this.
Allegedly. So you've done a lot throughout your life, I would say anyway. If anybody out there wants to see more of what you have done, there is an about page on sixcentrics.com/Bill Stansberry. Everybody can go and read a small portion of what you've done and things you've accomplished in your life. First off, I wanted to ask, what did you think of the Louisiana snow we got this past week?
That was the best snow. It's about the only thing that made me wish I had small kids again. Otherwise, no. But the snow, that's almost a once in a lifetime happening because it was pure, nice.
And it was a lot.
It was a lot. I almost built a snowman myself, but I had other things that I needed to do.
Well, with that being said, I did want to ask, since you're a CPA, right?
That's right.
What title would you give yourself? Would you call yourself a CPA, a accountant, a professional counter? Like, what title would you give yourself?
More than anything else, I like to call myself a business advisor. I've been in small business nearly since my early 20s, so I guess that would make 30 years worth of small business experience. At the same time, working full-time jobs, trying to make a living and then having small businesses on the side. But I've learned a lot about business over the years, and so I really like to call myself a small business advisor. But the CPA, people like to see that behind your name, so they know who they can trust.
So they know you're legit
and
all that.
That's right.
Yeah, I get you. So, with all of that, we can go back a little bit. Go back a few years. Let's go back to when you graduated high school.
Okay.
When you graduated high school, what was your plan that you wanted to do with the rest of your life? Was this what you envisioned, or was there something else?
Actually, when I graduated high school, I was a math nerd. I love math, and actually math was my major, and I thought about going into engineering, as a double major with math because I liked it so much. And then, of course, like every other college student, almost every other college student that I know of besides my wife and my children, they change their majors multiple times while they're in school, can't figure out what you want to do when you grow up, that kind of thing. And I ended up graduated in general business when it was all said and done. And I mean, you can do some things with general business. It's not a bad degree to have, but you usually need something to go with it. Experience, accelerated degrees, Master of Business Administration to go on in order to do well. But I was fortunate and blessed to be able to get some nice jobs in healthcare back then, and also continue to have my small businesses on the side as I was doing that.
And so you went to NLU, right?
I finished at NLU, yeah.
Which was NLU back then,
right.
It's ULM now.
Right, that's where I finished school, yes.
And how was your college experience? Was it a good time, or did you like it,
I started off at Northwestern, at the Scholars College at Northwestern.
Yeah.
and that really told me which people were smart and which who weren't. Those guys there, that's the cream of the crop, as far as grades and intelligence. And of course, homesick. Back then, everybody wanted to be at home, and so I ended up finishing at NLU. But my college experience in the beginning was mainly studying and taking tests because it was tough. And then once I got back to NLU, finished, I was married by the time I graduated, and so we had life going on. And then of course I went back to school to finish my accounting later on and sit for my CPA exam.
And so, how difficult would you say it was to become an accountant?
So, it's a different thing there's a difference between being an accountant and being a CPA. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can go to college and graduate in accounting and be an accountant. There's all kinds of different accountants out there that do different things. You can go work for CenturyLink, and they can plug you into a little bitty place in their big company where you do the same thing over and over again. You can do payroll over and over and over again as an accountant, or you can do accounts payable over and over again as an accountant. But in the world that I'm in, we're more like general accountants. So we come out and we do all the above. And then so if you want to get your CPA, then you have to know a lot about a lot of things in order to pass your CPA exam. It's the hardest test that I've ever taken in my life.
And so you graduated college, and that was your plan from there on, that you were like, this is what I'm going to do. Once you graduated, you said you become a CPA, and then you were like, all right, this is what I want to do. I like this. You were down with that. Right.
I was a little bit focused at that point as well. When you finish your CPA, you really don't know what if you want to have a public office where you take all kinds of different clients, small business clients. It could be any industry that you're taking care of, or you can specialize in things. You can go into the corporate world and be a CFO for a specific company. So what I ended up doing was going back to my roots in healthcare in the beginning, and CFO for some medical organizations, hospital, nursing home organizations, that kind of thing, for a little while, until I decided that I wanted to branch out on my own and start my own CPA firm.
And so you did that, and then later on, you opened West Monroe's branch of Succentric's Business Advisors, right?
Correct. That's right.
What led you to go with them and open here?
So, as I call a late bloomer CPA, I didn't want to go back and try to reinvent the wheel on things. So Succentric's is a franchise that I bought into, so they would help me with my back office work, with helping me choose the software that I'll be using, and I didn't have to do all that research on my own to get started, and they would help out with that, plus the name recognition that's beginning to be around the United States of Succentric's being a very good company to work with. I think all that was major things that made me decide, instead of doing an independent, just opening Bill Stansberry CPA, I would open Succentric Business Advisors. Not only that, but Business Advisors on the last part of your name, that's really what I like to do.
Yeah, just to have that little title right there. Mm-hmm. And since you are a business advisor, what exactly would you say is like a normal day for you?
So, a normal day is very hard to describe. Because with the different clients that I have healthcare clients. I have retail clients. I have mom and pop bakeries. You name it. Every time you sit down with somebody, it's something different.
Yeah.
Which is exciting for me. Is one of the reasons why I like the business so well. Because I just like business, period. And when I sit down with somebody, I just want to know about their business to start off with, because I just like small business. I think that's what makes the world go round. Without the small businesses, we don't have the employment that we have in the United States. We don't have the economy that we have. You cut all the small business guys out. I mean, that's the reason why the PPP loans now, because they're trying to keep small businesses afloat, because that's what drives the economy.
And well, you just answered this question, basically, is that I was going to ask that, do you do the same thing almost every day? But that's a big no, I can tell, for the most part.
Well, everything is similar for each client, but I just like the little differences that it has. But I'm also a contract CFO with a small hospital too.
Yeah.
A rural hospital, and so when I go there, I kind of put on a different hat when I'm there helping them as when I'm here, because it's a whole different set of rules there.
And what would you say is your favorite part that you enjoy of your job?
My favorite part is sitting down across the table, which has kind of slowed down during COVID.
Yeah.
Which I know you have some questions about that in a minute. But my favorite part is to sit across from the client and talk about their business, look at their financials, and be able to show them a way to make their business better, be more profitable, be more enjoyable to them. Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Just to help them out, really.
Yep, that's my favorite.
So, of course, talk a little bit about COVID, because that's really what's going on, in my opinion. How have you and your family been during COVID?
My family has been great. We're all in healthcare in one way or another. Yeah. And my immediate family, none of us have contracted COVID. And three of them have been, in direct contact, with people for at least a short period of time. Yeah. But thank the Lord, nobody's contracted it. We try to be safe, and everything's good. Yeah.
And how has, on the business side for you, how has your business with Six Entrance been affected since basically January to February of last year? So how has this past year been for you business-wise?
Yeah, so we can look at it a couple of different ways. When we had the shutdown here in Louisiana, of course everybody had to go home and work remotely from home. But the good thing about our business, our day-to-day work that we do in bookkeeping can be done from anywhere, because everything that we do is from the cloud now. QuickBooks Online, Xero, and our payroll, all that is online. So most everything can be done remotely. So what did, I won't say hurt, but part of it that I didn't like was not being able to sit down across the desk like we talked about a while ago with my clients and discuss things with people. We had to completely stop that, and of course we're back doing it now, but there's still people that are a little bit scared, so we don't force anybody, but it's starting to pick back up. But we have learned more about how to have Zoom meetings and Microsoft Teams meetings virtually now, and it's not the same, but it's pretty close. I can look at them, they can look at me. Yeah.
Still be able to talk one-on-one with a lot of people.
But as far as financially on the COVID side, my business didn't hurt during COVID. We kept on growing last year during that time, because people needed us, because all the PPP funds and the grants and all those things that were coming out, they needed help with explanation of those things and how to apply for them and all that was involved with that.
So you can say you weren't that affected.
Yeah, financially we weren't affected.
Because you're basically essential for businesses.
That's correct.
To stay afloat and stay around, basically, for the economy.
Yep.
And so, with all that being said, is there anything that you would like to say to the people that are listening? Anything about maybe they want to become a CPA, or maybe they want to become a business advisor, or maybe they need business advising? Is there anything that you would like to say to all those people out there?
Yeah, for one thing, if you have a small business and you just want to talk to somebody about it, I love to talk about your business. So you can come in, always give a free consultation and come in and talk about your business. I can give you some pointers about things and go from there, and you can decide whether you actually need any of the services that we provide. I just, like I said, I can't say it enough. I love just talking about business. Anytime I come around a new business that I've never seen before, never learned anything about, it's exciting for me. As far as becoming a CPA, I think it's a rewarding job, but college doesn't tell you all that it's about.
Yeah.
You're learning just accounting and the bean counting when you're in college. You don't really learn about the industry and what's out there. That's what kind of sets me apart from people. I've been in business. I just don't know the accounting of business. I've been in business, managed business, so I understand it, I think, a little bit better than some do.
Yeah, you were more into the real world.
Yeah, what we call operations side. Accounting is usually they're on the financial side, and they usually don't make operation decisions. But anywhere or anybody that I talk to, whether it's the hospital or any business, I'm helping them make operational decisions as well as financial decisions.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to say thank you for being here. And if I ever have a business, I'll come here for the Toddcast.
I would say you already have a business.
Well,
you're just building it right now.
Yeah, it just takes a while.
Yeah.
So any business advising you want to give me,
sure,
I'll accept that. Hopefully you can be on again for any kind of advice. Call you in and be like, hey,
sure,
this person's got advice.
Something specific sometime.
Yeah. And if anything big happens in the world with some type of big business, like if something happened to Walmart or somebody, and you may know something about that, and hopefully you enjoyed being here, and thank you for being on as a guest.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @_Toddcast_ for all your Toddcast social media needs. Make sure you tell your friends and your family, or anybody really, to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.